What is going on, and welcome into our next rebuild. We have the Carolina Panthers now, the worst team in the NFL, and this is an interesting one. They're in a rough situation right now as they obviously traded their lot for the number one overall pick this past year to get Bryce Young, who didn't play very well this year. Now, I'm not going to blame that on him. His receiving core ain't great. His coaching wasn't great. There's a lot of issues in Carolina as it is, but he didn't play well. That's the fact of the matter. He's a 73 with a hidden dev trait. We're going to start as this year began. I'm moving Jonathan Mingo to our number one wide receiver spot. Adam Thielen will play number 2, then DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, and Terrace Marshall in that order. Chuba Hubbard's going to be our starting running back. Tommy Tremble, going to get him some more reps at tight end as fast as we can. Try to develop him a little bit. And then, the line is okay. Need to replace the center. Could get a guard. Not super, pressed on that, though. We got to get more weapons. Receivers, Hayden Hurst is overpaid, in my opinion. He's over, I think, 10 mil, 11 mil a year. I just don't think he's that great of a tight end. And, yeah, it's just what it is. This team has a long way to go. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this first year. The defense is actually relatively good talent-wise. I've moved things around. I'm starting Henry Anderson at defensive tackle. I'm moving Derek Brown up just to get him on the field as much as possible. Derek Brown's going to obviously start, though. Chris Wormley on the other side. The cornerback room's relatively good. J.C. Horn and Deontay Jackson, not Deion Jackson. They're good players. Definitely J.C. Horn is a better one, a young developing player. And C.J. Henderson, he's younger, not actually that good of an overall, under Troy Hill and Shaquille Griffin in overall, but I'm going to move him up because he's relatively young, and we're going to see if we can make him play out to be anything. On the safety note, Xavier Woods, Von Belt, and Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin just has to have play time, so we're making him get up towards the top there. The linebackers, Shaq Thompson and Frankie Louvu, not bad. Deion Jones is a great number 3 linebacker. Yeturgos Matos and Brian Burns are going to come off the edge, and then I'm going to have DJ Johnson be the rotational guy to, develop a little bit himself. He's a rookie. He came out of Oregon, and I believe not the worst situation for him, so just get him some reps. Special teams, they are what they are. Specialists, going to have the slot. Jeremy Chin might step down a little bit. The edge rushers will also be Brian Burns and Yeturgos Matos. Sub linebackers, he just plays better there, so I'm leaving him in. Unless Shaq Thompson's better. I think I missed him. I'll check that in a minute. The slot receiver, Adam Thielen. Chuba's going to be the back man. This is just going to be how it goes for us. We're going to jump straight into this season. Like I said, we're already through the first part of the season. We have some opening day keys. I don't expect us to win many games as they didn't win this year. They won 2 in real life, and I don't expect anything else. I guess defense, we're playing against the Falcons, so we're going to go disrupting the pass because they don't have the best pass game anyways. But this is Madden. This has nothing to do with how good they are in real life. So we'll just see. I changed this to a 3-4 because I feel like we fit better there. They were a 4-3 in Madden, but I just like this fit better. We have some things to use. We'll just go ahead and get the player personnel. Not that. We're going to try to get... My first goal is always to get the after-school tutoring so we can train more players more efficiently. So I'm going to work on that through the year. But yeah, I'm probably not going to stop much in this first year to show you anything unless something actually crazy happens. But, the output of getting anything in this class in this year is just not good. Prospect-wise, not looking at a quarterback for sure. We're going to look at receiver as early as possible. But good thing is, there's not a bunch of good ones. We are in the second round, so that's fine because we're not going to get anybody in the upper first round. This guy's 6'4", 221, 6'5", 224. Yeah, that's huge. We could definitely try to target one of them. But overall, this roster just has to have a bit of an overhaul. We need a running back. Nothing I'm pressed to take early, but as good as we can get, we'll get it. We'll get there eventually. Either way, let's get right into simming this Carolina Panthers franchise. At the Week 7 bye, we are 3-3. So already won more games than they did in real life this year. We're going to check our guys we got to bring back. And Brian Burns, don't care that he doesn't want to be here. We're bringing him back. Yeah, that's a lot of playmakers we have here. A lot of guys that matter. We're obviously going to accept J.C. Horn's option at the end of the year. There's no question about that. Brian Burns, however, 7 years is a bit too long. Let me just go ahead and do that. Yeah, okay, that wasn't good enough. We're going to bring him back, though, one way or another. Jeremy Chin, I'd really like to bring him back, too. He's only 25, and that's not even expensive. This isn't even expensive, and we're giving him a heck of a deal. He's starting to like the offer, so we'll work on it. Deion Jones, he is 28. Not too sure about him. Frankie Louvu, 26, and he's 3 overalls better. Pretty sure about him. We'll give him something. Try to work with him. Get an offer that maybe works. We're not going to bring back DJ Chark. We probably will bring back Laviska Shenault for depth and the fact that he's actually a decent wide receiver. Hopefully he'll accept a little bit of a lower offer, even though he doesn't actually at all. Not even a little bit. CJ Henderson, because I'm trying to develop him, I'm going to try to bring him back once again, even though he doesn't want to be here. We got him back. All right, we got our key playmaker of the year back in. Yeah, CJ Henderson. All right, great. Other than that, right now, I'm not super worried about things. Henry Anderson, I mean, he's rotational. I mean, at this point, he's not super concerning. Marquise Haynes, there also definitely could be guys we trade right now because we're not super worried about our cap room. We're not looking to be that good anytime soon anyways. So I really think it might be beneficial to try to, I don't know, get some of the guys out of here that are older and veterans and just not going to be useful to us. And bring in maybe some draft assets, as we really don't have any this first year. We don't have a first-round pick, obviously. Hopefully we lose a lot of games and are able to have a second-round pick. But one guy, Adam Thielen, he's got 3 years on his deal, and he's already 33. We're going to look at his interest. Looks like Chuba is hurt. Miles Sanders would be tradable, but we have to have him right now. Hayden Hurst is very tradable as well. He's got 3 years on his deal. The O-linemen I'll keep right now. I'm not really too concerned about them. But Marquise Haynes, I mean, he's off contract this year, so I don't know, see what we can get out of him. These 3 I'm definitely going to shop around and see what I get. So if you miss any of this, I'll show you in a little bit. But Nate Davis is actually a really good add and would replace Brady Christensen quickly. But I'd rather get a little bit more draft assets, I think. Drew Dahlman's a good center, and he's only 24 years old. We do need a center. I actually really like that deal. I might go with Drew Dahlman, because he would be a guy we don't have to worry about after this. Slayton's a good receiver and all, but not good enough for us to warrant him. Devondre Campbell's too old. Andre James is a little older than the other center. Pat Pete's certainly too old. We do need a center. I mean, that's a big deal that they have that center offer right there for us. Let me just jump in here and see what I can maybe get out of this and check his... I want to make sure his contract is going to stay intact as well. We do get him for another 2 years, this year and the next. He's 24. He's already like 6 overalls better than our tight end, or excuse me, our center. I'm going to see if I can do this without giving up 2 players, and I get him for Adam Thielen. Great. Now we're going to go in and try to trade Hayden Hurst and maybe the other Marquise Haynes. That was who it was. I just didn't want to rid myself of too many assets at one trade. Like, I didn't need to, obviously. Maybe not the most realistic scenario ever. However, it's just, I mean, we got to get something in here for some of these vets that just don't matter to us in the long term. Shaq Thompson, we'll keep him around, though he is making, well, I don't know. Is he the future? I don't know. That's going to depend on if we get Frankie Louvu back. Deion Jones, I'm not going to try to trade him. That's just too much. I can't go too crazy here. I wouldn't mind trying to trade Von Bell, though. I'm going to try to keep Jeremy Chin either way. So if I can figure out something for him, that'd be good. 3 picks and a linebacker that I don't really need, though. Rory Jackson. That's it. I don't necessarily need a corner, though. I'd rather just see if I can make something and get a solid pick out of this somewhere, some way. Go back to Chicago and see if maybe they'll give me a first. How close are we to a first? There's no way we're close. Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm fine with like a third if we can get a third, to be honest. So not quite. Not from the Bears, at least. Let's go see if we can find somebody else in the NFL who might be able to give us a better option. The last pick of the second round. No, not even a little bit. Last pick of the third round, we'll take it if they'll give it to us. And we'll do it. Getting rid of some vets that we're just not going to re-sign and we're not going to need. I'd rather play our young guys and develop, especially since this franchise is going to be, like I said, built on all of the young guys and giving them years to develop. Quickly want to give you an update on our roster after those trade deadline moves. We obviously have the same receiver room outside of losing, wow, I just completely forgot his name, Adam Thielen. I had Elijah Moore signed to the practice squad and brought him up. He's going to play our slot receiver from now on. Obviously Drew Dahlman stepping in at center, a much better unit across the line now. And defensively, really the same group. I mean, Von Bell is just not there in depth, but that's really it. It's really the same group defensively. Moving on to week 8, though, I am just going to see one more time to get some negotiations done. We should have a little bit more money open, some things here and there that we can do. let's just make sure we get Brian Burns back. He's working on it. We're working on him still. Jeremy Chin, since we got rid of Von Bell, we pretty much have to bring him back. He's not even expensive, so we're not really worried about it. We'll give him a good offer and hope he comes back. We got Jeremy Chin. That's great considering all of the things we had to do. Frankie Louvu, once again, I don't know where we're at with him. All right, we're signed. That's where we're at with him. Good enough. Laviska Shenault, it's going to be hard to bring him back, but we're going to try either way. He wants 3 years, $6 million a year. We're getting close. He's not quite there, though. Yetur is injured at the moment. How expensive is he? That's not expensive at all. I'm going to give him a low deal, and if he accepts, he accepts. But, yeah, I'm not really worried about him. DJ Chark, not worried about it. We'll like to move on from him probably after this season anyways. And guys Elijah Moore, we're going to probably give him another offer just because of the fact that, he's young and a 79 overall in Madden. Whether he's good in real life or not, he's at least that much. So, going to jump through these real quick to show you what we're looking at. Still have only 3 spots we're working with. Bryce Young is superstar. Jonathan Mingo is star. Great news, but nothing crazy there. But yeah, that's going to be it, and I'll catch up to y'all next time. We have a breakout player in Week 10, breakout running back, whoever this may be. Chuba Hubbard is going to get a breakout. That's actually really big because it might, if he's good enough and he breaks this, he might be good enough to not have to consider drafting a running back. But, this is kind of a make or break for him. We're going to go back into these negotiations real quick just to show y'all who we're wrapping up on. Obviously, we're trying to get Brian Burns to come back. He's getting there slowly but surely. Laviska Shenault, he's still interested to a point. He wanted the salary up. We'll do that right there. We got Laviska Shenault back for 3 years. Just got to have weapons, and he's at least developing consistently. So, good enough, right? That's about all I'm giving him. Yeah, we're not worried about you then, bud. You've been hurt anyways. Tough. Sam Franklin, we're not interested in bringing back as we have Jamie Robertson waiting in the wings. But yeah, short week. We're going to get onto this, and I'll let y'all know if he breaks it out. At the end of the first year, we go 7-10, third in our division, and let's check our stats out first. That's just what we got to see. Bryce Young was 9th in the NFL in passing yards and 11th in touchdowns. I actually am pretty impressed by that. 31 and 18, Chuba had an okay year, 3.5 yards per carry for both him and Miles Sanders. Bryce Young added another 250 yards on the ground with a touchdown. Miles Sanders played due to some injury. Jonathan Mingo, a heck of a year. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. Laviska Shenault played away into getting his contract for sure. And Elijah Moore came in only about, week 8 and put up 600 yards and 2 touchdowns. So definitely not upset about that. Tommy Trimble had the most success out of any of our tight ends. Yeah, that's interesting as well. Hayden Hurst did have some, but, we obviously let him go. Then, defensively, Derek Brown, Brian Burns lead the way with 7.5 and 6.5 sacks. Any gaudy numbers interception-wise, decent numbers from J.C. Horn. Any defensive touchdown, something I always like to look at. No, we did not. So, 20th total in offense. And then after on defense, we were 28th, not good. Chuba Hubbard, neither of the running backs did a whole lot. I don't know that I blame them, though. It is what it is. A much better year here than it was, in real life. We had a much better year. This is more of the, maybe we thought this would happen and now we just have to develop from here. But Green Bay and Jacksonville in the Super Bowl, interesting there. Not something I expected, that's for certain. We're going to go ahead and check our upgrade players. We're going to have somebody here. Jonathan Mingo, he probably got some kind of Rookie of the Year or something. We'll check those in just a moment. But that's good for us because maybe he can develop into a number 1 receiver for us, and that would be huge. He's got talent, and we know that he can be, really good. 1,100 yards in his first year. He's up to superstar dev. We just saw the ability slot. That's exciting. So, yeah, he might be our guy to go for from here on out. Simming to one more week just to make sure we get the Super Bowl, stuff analyzed and get that little season recap page. Green Bay wins the Super Bowl. Jordan Love, MVP. So, yeah, sorry, Bears and Vikings and Lions. The Green Bay Packers are still getting another one. We didn't win any of those awards, but it looks like we had something. We had to have had something because maybe he was Offensive Rookie of the Year for the NFC, but the AFC won it. I'm not sure. Do we have any retirements? Anything we need to make sure we don't lose? In the NFC South, we lost Bruce Irvin. That's just a guy I brought in depth after we traded Marquise Haynes. Nothing to worry about there. fill a roster spot pretty much. Upgrading players-wise, these are a lot of our practice squad. I brought in a few guys just to, fill out our roster a little better later on. And there we go. They're all upgraded as well. So we're going to check out what our lineup looks like right now, mainly just to see, due to the fact that we know Jonathan Mingo's up to superstar. So where else is everyone else? Bryce Young and him are superstar. Pretty much everything remains the same outside of that, but that's a really big improvement. Defensively, Wormley lost his development trait. We brought back Yetur Gross-Matos. I forgot to mention that. Deion Jackson, I don't know that he had a start. No, I think J.C. Horn actually had superstar himself and lost it. Something like that. Either he had star and Deion had nothing, or, yeah, one of them changed. I don't know. Either way, we're going to go ahead and get to re-signing players. We pretty much decided that, we've got everybody back that we want. Brian Burns did not re-sign at any point yet, and we're going to just franchise tag him because he's too good of a player to let loose. Obviously, not the best situation. A disgruntled player being franchise tagged is never really the best case scenario, but we got to do what we got to do. J.C. Horn, welcome back as well. You're getting your tag accepted. And Elijah Moore, we might let him walk and then see if we can pick him up in free agency because it's just he's kind of expensive here, though he does want to be here. But we can use that advantage later on in the return of the free agency. Other than that, I think we're good on everybody else. Henry Anderson was a 74, and he dropped all the way down to a 68. Yeah, we're good there. We're going to just go on to free agency and, maybe work on some of these draft picks, see what we're looking at there. I want to check out, at least I did focus scout some receivers. I want to see where we're at on them. We should have 100%. 3 to 4 talent for Joe Green, not great. Round 1 for Clyde Hardy, and round 1 for Marco Tomlinson. Might be a guy we go for with Marco Tomlinson. He's a guy who's good talent, but in our range of draft. He's got good to great speed. That's exciting there. F injuries, a little bit upsetting, but A spec catch, A run block, A short route, A stiff arm. D medium route's okay. A awareness means his overall is going to be pretty decent. I like Marco Tomlinson the way he looks so far, so we'll definitely keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and get to the free agency, as I said. In the NFL draft, we're going to get right to this. We did not get any free agents, not a single one. We offered a corner, I don't even remember his name right now, and then we obviously offered Elijah Moore. Neither accepted. Great. Always what you want. But, hey, we're here now. Marco Tomlinson was our receiver we were interested in with the round 1 talent, making sure. There's nothing else here, though. I got some guys that I just found down each positional board. A running back was the only other option. Alan Claiborne is good. Tevin Roseman might be good. Alan Claiborne, let's look at him real quick. Elite jumping, great speed, 4.41 speed. What's his injury? His A to C. That's always a good sign. It's probably either him or Marco Tomlinson. We're probably not getting both. And part of me wants to go with the running back due to the fact that we at least have, some help at receiver now. However, I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. Marco Tomlinson does have F injury, which is pretty concerning. That's just tough, man. What else did we have? Was there anything drafting soon that we had in our board? Allen is really the only high one. Everything else is relatively late. I don't know how good Alan Claiborne is totally. However, he looks pretty solid. Definitely not bad. Break tackle C, juke move B to D, spin move A to C. I think we might go with Alan Claiborne. Let me make sure of what exactly our running back room looks like right now, just because things might change if, that is an option. We'll go to our trade center and see what we got. Our running back room is Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders still. Miles Sanders is an easy trade option. Definitely something we can at least get offers for. Nobody wants him, though, somehow. That's a bit shocking, I'm not going to lie. We do need receiver depth. We only have 4 guys on the roster. I feel like it might be worth it to just stick with Chuba. Running backs are running backs. They can be fine. We can draft one next year. Miles Sanders needs to be traded, though. There's no sense in keeping him. Can we get a second-round pick out of him? Not even close. A third-rounder? I'll literally just go with the best pick you can give me. We'll go to another team because maybe there'll be more options on another team. How about your third, Denver? All right, they gave me their third. I'll take it. Good deal. So yeah, we're gonna go with the receiver, Marco. We don't have the need the same way for the running back that we do the receiver. He is 6'5", 224, 91 speed, 95 jumping, 73 strength, hidden dev. That's gonna be pretty good for us. His skills: F injury, B juke move, A run block. He's a blocker. He's a physical guy, a big old physical receiver. I mean, that's a good option for us down to have for sure. Not a problem there. We definitely are going to be able to look through what we have marked and then maybe some extras now that we have some other draft capital. Dontrell Duggins is a guy who I saw. I don't have a whole lot of scouting done on him, but he potentially has A's. There's a linebacker here that he's going to be a middle if we draft him. What's Dontrell Duggins look like? I mean, good speed, 4.39. That's pretty good. A to C man, that's very solid. D is zone, so he's definitely a man corner. B tackle is not bad. Doesn't have the best awareness potentially, so that's a bit concerning, but at the same time, I don't know. Anybody better than him that I see? I mean, anything more intriguing? He's like the 7th pick on the board. We're just going to take him. He's obviously supposed to be drafted around this place anyways. He does have a hidden dev, 92 speed. That's going to be good for us. I should have checked his ratings, his skills. Oh, well, too late now. We'll check it when we get out of the draft. Going to our another third-round pick. I mean, this one's hard because I don't think the guys we have on the board, I mean, he's day 3. Yeah, all of our guys got taken, so clearly they must have been kind of good. This guy's pretty good, too. I mean, what we do know about him, we did have him a little bit scouted. Good speed, good a lot of things. Impact blocking's good. Run block power's not the greatest, but he's got A's. We might take him and play him at that left guard spot that we have Brady Christensen at. We'll do it. He's normal dev, but, I mean, honestly, for an O-lineman, it doesn't really matter that much. We might play him over. We have another third. I believe it's from the, it was one of the trades we made. I don't remember. You've probably seen it more recently than I have, so keep up with that yourself, I guess. Defensive tackle is a bit of a position in need. I don't know that there was anything here. I didn't have anything scouted very well, at least. I mean, this guy could be okay, but that's at best, and that's if he really gets those higher-end power move, pursuit, finesse move. And, like, not knowing his power or finesse move, it really drives me away from him. And his strength's only solid, so I'm not really impressed by that. Any ends that can play over? Ricky Moore has A power moves. He's what is he? Undrafted free agent, but elite jumping, poor strength, great agility, great acceleration. A tackle and A power moves? Like, B awareness, he's probably got a good overall. He's a potential undrafted free agent, but I don't know that I want to let him slide. A speed rusher with some potential. A run stopper. That's more of a middle linebacker, obviously. Let's see if he's any good. We could use some depth at linebacker. C zone, D finesse moves, F power moves. Definitely an off-ball guy. Definitely an off-ball guy. B hit power's not bad. B to D awareness ain't great. Not really. That's a lot of B's, but I guarantee you, a lot of them are going to go down. Pursuit and tackle is a B on Kalen Bernard. Good speed for a linebacker. B catching, A to C man coverage. He's pretty solid. We might go with Kalen Bernard. He's an option at left outside linebacker. For some reason, there's always better inside linebackers on the outside guys than there are in the inside, in the actual middle linebacker position. A tackle for this guy with elite speed, 4.5 speed at linebacker. What's his size? He's 6'1", 242. He's okay. B awareness, that's good. C and C man and zone, that's not bad at all. Eric Silver looks pretty solid, and he's a day 3 projection. I'm not any interested in the pass coverage guys right now that I see. Larry Newsome looks like he could be solid. I mean, is he any better? 6'3", 238. He's a bit bigger. I mean, he's got 4.5 speed himself. B tackle, D man, C play rec. Probably worse zone coverage. Yeah, see, some reason I'm going to go with Eric Silver. He seems like a better player, and we're going to move him to middle linebacker, and he should be fine. 86 speed. Let's check out some of his things. A tackle for sure. Okay, yeah, we got that. Nothing else changes there. Moving on. We're going to the 4th round. Maybe that end is going to be there. I might go ahead and take him. His last name was Moore. Something Moore. I don't remember his first name. But, I mean, he's pretty solid. Ricky Moore. He's a little small. Oh, he's 5'11", 257. He's 5'11" at a defensive end spot. That is wild. He might be more of a linebacker that we can move out. I'm going to wait on him a little longer. I just don't see it with him. Man, this is tough now because I don't really have a specific focus. That's a good coverage on a safety right here. We can move him to free safety. That's where I like my coverage, guys. First in the 40-yard dash on his position. D awareness means he's going to have a pretty bad overall. Jay Holt looks okay, but we've already taken a center. We've got a B power move for Joel Vick. I don't mind that. C finesse moves isn't bad. C awareness. We'll go ahead and take Joel Vick. We need, hey, and he's got a dev trait. That's good for us. We needed the depth at the defensive tackle position after losing a couple different guys in free agency this year. So that's going to be huge. I'm probably going to go with Moore now just because, I mean, it's the 5th round. There's not a whole lot to wait on. I'll look at a couple things, but maybe let's see if there's another receiver on the board anywhere. We have a lot. I mean, there's an A deep route running, but I don't see anything with him that I like. A lot of these guys are just going to get into the undrafteds anyways. I don't see anything that I really care for here. 2 Bs is decent. I mean, you don't see that anywhere else. A lot of Fs and Ds and Cs, but you got 2 Bs on this guy. Kelvin Levins. Maybe in the 7th round we'll look at him and more. Kelvin Levins, we'll remember that name. But Moore just seems like a guy who might be all right. Gabriel Hancock, he has a lot of C's potentially. But that's rough. And Moore has A's. So we're going to go with Ricky Moore. He's a little undersized. He's hidden dev, 79 speed. Skills, I mean, nothing crazy there. All right. Whatever. We'll take him. Maybe move him to an edge rusher, but I don't know. He's just small in general. He's just tiny. We're going to move on. Like I said, Kelvin Levins. Is that Kelvin Levins? That sounds right. If I'm not mixing up names. We might look at him later. What's this? Levi Red safety. We could use a safety for some depth and some replacements in the future. B pursuit. D zone coverage ain't great. B to D man, though. B to D awareness. C hit power. Okay, nothing amazing. I don't really see much that I care for. I guess we could get a potential running back if there is one on the board. First speed in the class for Raekwon Monty. A catching, he's a receiver. Short route's good. Awareness is fine. Juke move ain't great. That's usually a good stat to look at for running backs to tell how good they are. A lot of the receiving backs don't tend to have the best overall, so I'm not really enticed by that. Juke move not great for Josh Brackens either. I'm looking for more of a speedy guy. Pat Johnson, though. Hold on. He might be a power back, but he's got decent speed. Only D juke move. He's got some good things otherwise. B carrying's pretty solid. Pat Johnson might be a guy. They've got better. The power backs right now got better total. I don't know, just things I'm looking at here. And I like Pat better than him, I believe. Pat's a UDFA, though. Stephen Bell, we'll check on him as well, just because he's right here in the middle of all of it. Great speed, second speed in the class. Oh, yeah, we're taking Stephen Bell. He's got that juke move. 94 speed. We like that a lot. Like it a lot. Yeah, we're good with that. Maybe Kelvin Levins here. The receiver Levins is Calvin. I don't know. I might be mixing up multiple names right at this point. We'll check on him, and we will move right along. Let's see if he's here, and if he is, why not? We'll go for him. I know he's a UDFA, but he has some Bs. Did I pass him? Is he gone? He's gone. He must have been pretty solid himself. Yeah, he's gone. No Levins left. I mean, we could still take a receiver for depth purposes, or maybe a tight end. You know, nothing here that looks great. I don't know. Hawkins, that might be okay. We'll check on him. Deep route and catch and traffic are good. Elite jumping, elite change of direction, good speed for the class. B medium route. He looks all right. Not a very good blocker. 6'2", 244. He's just a bigger receiver, to be honest. Perez, let's check on him. He's got more of an average potential, I guess. B break tackle, C catching. Not a lot of great anything here. Josh Rhett, I mean, he's got potential, but I just don't trust that those are going to be very good. Yeah, F injury, C's, I'm not a fan. He's a lot bigger, 6'6", almost 270. He's a big old guy. We might go with Geo Hawkins and just see what we get out of him. We've got him 95% scouted. We'll see. He's 84 speed, 90 jumping. Nothing crazy. Not a blocker. Definitely not a blocker, but maybe that third tight end spot will be fine with him. And that's the end of our draft. Our draft is now over, and here's our recap. Marco Tomlinson is a solid 75 overall, 91 speed. That's good to see. Dontrell Duggins is a 68. Not the best, but we'll work with it. Peter Johnson, a 73 overall center. Moving to guard, though. We'll see what happens. Eric Silver, going to move to middle linebacker. We'll see what happens with him. Vic is not good. Ricky Moore, the undrafted right end, is actually going to be pretty solid himself. Stephen Bell, serviceable. Nothing wrong. 94 speed is going to be great, though. And Geo Hawkins is 65. Not honestly far off from what I expected. Let's move some guys over to their, new positions and see what happens. I believe Brady Christensen is the left guard, so I'm going to go out on a limb and just go ahead and do it. Hope for the best that it's the right position, and I'll fix it later if it's not. He goes up 1 overall, I believe. That's pretty solid. Then anybody else? Yes, 68 starting for the linebacker. Let's see if moving him to middle changes anything for him. He was a 68. And once this loads, if it ever does, he'll move to middle linebacker, and he will be a 66. He goes down, but he's going to fit better there. It'll be fine. I'm not worried about it too much. Ricky Moore, pretty excited about him, considering he's a bit of a shock and, a guy that was an undrafted free agent and worked out well for us. I want to check through a couple guys we looked at and see, how good they might have been. The running back who we were looking at in the second round, he probably did not go too soon after us. It was probably pretty quick. Let's see. Where are we at? Tomlinson and Alan Claiborne, who went just a few picks later. He ends up being 1 overall better. Oh well, not a big deal. Not that it makes that big of a difference. Then we had Levens, if that was his name. If I'm remembering his name right. I'm trying to find him. He was the receiver I was interested in. That was also a undrafted. Here he is. He was a 72. So we could add him, but we didn't. Whatever. I'm not super worried about it. But yeah, that was a pretty good offseason. Got some definite upgrades at some positions, and we'll be fine. Checking in on our lineup, I will do the training camp, and it's just going to be off camera because it takes too long to do those on camera. But yeah, we're going to have, well, if it makes the best lineup for us, let's see. We're going to have Tomlinson. To be honest with you, we're going to move him up to play wide receiver 2 just because it'll be beneficial for our team. The line looks pretty solid. Brady Christensen was correct. They're both 74s, but he's going to be younger and better at the same time. Chuba's going to stick in the number 1 spot. We'll keep our guys around. Geo Hawkins plays the third tight end. Defensively, do we have... That corner's not even on our list because he's so low. That's funny. Brandon Stevens was a guy on our what's it called? Not depth chart. You know what I mean. Ricky Moore is going to have a dev trait. And, we're going to play Joel Vick, even though he's not good, just because he has a dev trait. We're going to keep him up there. Hopefully he develops well. Work on him in the offseason and whatnot if we can. And then our linebacker, we'll keep him at 3 just to make sure he gets some reps here and there. And yeah, that looks good to me. This team looks all right. We'll see what we can do this season. Maybe try to win more than 6 games. So we know Marco Tomlinson is going to be a superstar dev because he got the long-term development little cutscene from, ironically, Jonathan Mingo. So now we have 2 superstar receivers. That's going to be huge for us. We also know that our linebacker, Eric Silver, he did not start out this way, but he is now a star dev because during the training camp games, he got a breakout himself. A rare breakout, but it did happen. That's pretty big for us. Marco Tomlinson and Jonathan Mingo, both superstar, like I said. Chuba, the running backs, nothing there. We've got some movement here, and also our rookie corner, Duggins. He's up to a 71 overall already. Where is he at? Where am I talking about? Yeah, Eric Silver is up to a silver star dev. So, good little tag there. I just want to let y'all know that, and I'm going to get through the preseason. All right, so here's going to be our lineup for year 2. Jonathan Mingo and then Tomlinson on the first 2 receiver spots, followed by Laviska Shenault and Terrace Marshall. Chuba Hubbard's our starting running back. Bryce Young obviously stepping into a big role, continuing to be good. Going to have this as the line here. Decent O-line. Could be worse, definitely. Tight ends looking a little lackluster, but we're fine. Not worried about it too much. The defense, Vic is going to get some play time just because he's a player. We're also going to play Duggins quite a bit just because, he has a dev trait and we got to get him developed, and that could be really helpful for us. Matos is going to play. DJ Johnson's still going to be our backup. Eric Silver, hopefully he gets in sometimes. Woods, Chin, pretty much the same as last year except for those rookies added in and losing some of those veterans. Either way, let's see how many wins we get this year. Chuba Hubbard has another chance at a breakout game. Pretty exciting there, but is he going to do it once again? This is a big one for him because if he really doesn't do it this time, we're pretty much moving off of him. I mean, that is what it is. He's got to get something going or we're going to find another back because he's just replaceable until he has the dev trait. So we're going to look into that, but otherwise, I'll let y'all know. Year 2, week 8, we are a very disappointing 2-5. I mean, I didn't think we were going to be great. Maybe 3-4 would be a lot better even. We've got free agents, though. A lot of money and free agents. Derek Brown's got to come back. He wants to be back. Let's get him back. Simple as that. He's back. Good. Brian Burns, we really don't need to lose him either. He went down to star dev, and he still doesn't want to be here. That's great. We might end up trading Brian Burns, honestly. Dante Jackson, I'm honestly not even that pressed to bring him back. He's 28, but that's not that bad of a deal. Dontrell Duggins is making good strides at development. Woods is going to be an interesting loss. Shaq Thompson, we've already made waves into losing him. We're fine there. Drew Dahlman, we need to bring him back because we don't have another center, and he's good enough, honestly. Center is not crazy. I mean, nothing special. Austin Corbett's a good guard. We'll bring him back 2 years. Hopefully that accepts. He's good. He's back. And then other than that, Tommy Trimble, our best tight end. I mean, not that he's all that great, but he's got to probably need to come back. Terrace Marshall we'll look at later depending on our situation. We could be looking at a big time for a trade. That might be what we're at now. Brian Burns might need to be traded. And I don't know where. Maybe a, struggling team. Maybe a elite team where we can get some assets from them. But we're going to have to look at a trade for him because right now this ain't going to cut it. I don't want anything that's going to make us, wait super long for some guy to develop. We need a guy who's going to at least be able to be impactful. We'll see what we get. For Brian Burns, I end up trading him and Terrace Marshall and 2 second-round picks for Jerry Jeudy, Andrew Norwell, Poona Ford, and a first-round pick that is projected to be the number 1 overall pick. Hopefully, Brian Burns does not make them that much better and able to do that, but we weren't going to be able to bring him back. He doesn't want to be here. And at this point, it's better for us to cut ties and move on than anything else. So we're going to just make sure from now that any of the new, guys we have could not leave. We're not going to bring back Andrew Norwell. He's on a 1-year deal, but we're not worried about him. He's just going to be here to be here, pretty much. We did bring in, like I said, Jerry Jeudy, who we're probably going to leave around. He's got $13 million, which isn't the best contract, but it's okay. We'll deal with it. It's a fine number. Chuba is not necessarily a guy we want to bring back. Dante Jackson, leaning more towards it now, especially with the trades we've made. We'll at least leave it right there. Xavier Woods, we look at him towards the end of the season. But yeah, that's about it for this. We'll move on through the season. Week 16 comes around. We're 6-8. We're kind of making it back up. And we have a breakout linebacker. Let's see who this might be. Yetur Gross-Matos. Let's see if we can get him something. That'd be really helpful. Now our edge rushers are him and DJ Johnson, so they're not good. But we look to fix that in the offseason for sure. But let's see if he gets this breakout. He does not hit his breakout game. That's rather disappointing. But I want to show y'all one other thing. I didn't show you the turnout of our draft class so far. So looking at our the whole roster really. Mingo obviously and Tomlinson are star dev. The backup running back. He's just a backup, whatever. Then what else do we draft? We had nothing surprised there. We've known about him. It was all defensive, I guess. Superstar dev for our defensive end who was supposed to be an undrafted free agent. That's pretty helpful. Silver is a star dev. We've shown that. Duggins is a star dev as well. He should be CB3. That's pretty much it. We don't know about Vic yet because he hasn't, he played a whole lot as a little bit of a lower, but he's developed nicely. He's close. He might be a star dev, I'm assuming. But either way, that's just our team, how it looks right now. We do have some negotiations I'll show you one more time. And then we might jump into a little bit of scouting that we haven't done just much yet. We're in week 17, so we've got a little bit to work on. Shaq Thompson, probably going to let him walk. Drew Dahlman's got to come back, though. Like, we can't really afford to not do that. All right, thank you for coming back, sir. Chuba Hubbard, also a guy I'm probably going to let walk. Tommy Trimble, not a terrible offer, but, I mean, he doesn't want to be here, so it's going to be hard to get him back. And I really don't want to pay him more than what that is at all. So we'll probably look to move on. Puna Ford does want to be here. He was a part of that trade. I might actually give him a deal just because we don't have anybody else. And he likes it, but he'll think about it. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Ian Thomas, he's going to walk because, I mean, he wants just as much as the other. I actually wants a little less. We might give him a small offer. If he accepts. But no, see, it's just not going to happen. Andy Dalton, we're not really interested in. Ikem Ekwonu will definitely accept his option. Andy Dalton, maybe bring him back just to be the backup. I mean, that's it, though. Xavier Woods, this is a tough one. I'm going to try to get him on just a 1 year, if anything. And he doesn't want to be back. So there usually is some pretty good free agents in this next year's the free agency class. So let's hope on that. Let's really, really try to bank on that. We do get a good matchup here against the Bucs, a 3-12 team. Hopefully we get a win against them because that was my season goal, was to win 7 games. And, you know, it'd just be nice to hit that, get the extra staff points. But either way, let's get to it. We turned our season around quite well, actually. Ended 8-9, still not great, not a winning season, but we beat the Chiefs in Week 18, so that's a great way to start it. With some upgrades, just Ian Thomas, nothing crazy there. We did miss the playoffs, which stinks, but it is what it is. I mean, can't really, you know, argue with that. I mean, there's nothing to do. We missed. Whatever. We're a negative team. Bryce Young, 7th in passing touchdowns, 11th in yards. 33-8. He really cleaned up the turnovers. 70% completion. What a heck of a year. Chuba had 1,000 yards, but only 3.7 yards per carry. Not great there. That's very replaceable. Mingo, another 1,000-yard receiving with 11 touchdowns. Tomlinson, 996 yards, 6 touchdowns. Great rookie year from him. Jerry Jeudy, 800-something yards, 7 touchdowns. And, yeah, that's pretty good there. Defensively, sack numbers are probably going to be pretty rough. Derek Brown had 12.5, but that next best is 3. That is rough. Our rookie only had 2. That's a little disappointing, honestly. J.C. Horn had 5 picks. The rest of the team did not do very much there. No defensive touchdowns per usual. 17th in offense. We improved a little bit, I believe. Not amazing, but improved. And we improved in defense somehow. I feel like the rest of the league must have just gotten worse because there's really not a way we could have improved there. Either way, we'll get to the end of this year and see what happens. In the yearly awards, Lamar Jackson is going to win MVP. Coach of the Year, Doug Peterson. AFC Offensive Player of the Year is Lamar. Defensive is Max Crosby. Offensive Rookie is Joe Green. I don't even know what he is, but I think he was a receiver. I think he was another receiver that I scouted, actually. Chris Ingram. Don't know those guys. We're in the NFC, though. That's what matters for us. Let's check out our offensive rookie. We don't get it. Marco Tomlinson was 2nd. That stinks, man. We were really close. And then defensively, don't get our guy up here. He's all the way at 9. Best QB, Bryce Young's at 4. Running back, we might as well not be listed. Chuba was forgettable. We do have Jonathan Mingo at 4th in the best receiver race. Nobody on the lines. We do have Derek Brown, actually. That's a good, solid year from him. Good thing we brought him back as well. Panthers, J.C. Horn had a good year, obviously. Eddie Pinheiro, good kicker. Great. Don't really care about anything else. We'll move on to Super Bowl week where the Patriots and the Eagles are playing. Rematch of them. Crazy. Eagles have revitalized their run, and the Patriots came back, and they did lose. The Eagles win this one again. Jalen Hurts, MVP. Did they beat the first one? They did. That was back. No, I don't remember. What? No, yeah, that was the Foles year. I am losing my mind. All right. Either way, not anything that we did. We didn't get a single thing. Lamar MVP, Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl MVP, excuse me. Do get a couple players upgrade. It's going to be all practice squad guys more than likely. Samori Toure, nice, great. He can be a depth piece on our receiving core, I guess. Other than that, we'll move on and go to re-signing players. Here we are in the offseason with the free agents. We're going to accept Ikem Ekwonu's option, obviously, no doubt about it. Xavier Woods, it's going to be tough. We'll have to think about him in a minute. Chuba, not really worth it. Tommy Trimble, he's up to star dev? Is that right? Was he there before? All right, he might be worth it now. All right, we'll look at him in free agency, Tommy Trimble, because he's a decent overall. I mean, could be worse, but, Puna Ford did kind of like this offer. I'm going to see if I can do that and just make it work. He does. Great. We got Puna Ford in the building. Maybe something we don't have to worry about in the draft looking for a defensive tackle. So Tommy Tremble and Xavier Woods. Let me go back to Xavier Woods. I feel like there might be a safety available at a better number in free agency. So we're going to wait on him. We're going to go to free agency and start there. Tua is a free agent. However, we have Bryce Young, so we're going to stick with him. Javarius Ward. Wow, lots and lots and lots of good free agents. Dre Greenlaw is a good option as a middle linebacker, but we don't need that. Let's just go by position. We don't need a quarterback, so let's skip past. We do need a running back, though. Jalen Warren's a lot better than Chuba already, but I'm still not really, pressing any buttons there. I might go for a guy like Kenneth Gainwell or Elijah Mitchell. Not quite the best backs. This draft class stinks. The best running back is not even good. I don't know how, I didn't scout them much, but they just don't look good at all. Yeah, these two might be the option. Jalen Warren, he's 26. I mean, he's younger than yeah. He's at least a good overall. We're going to give him a lower offer, and if he accepts, cool. But if not, I'm not really worried about it. I don't know. We're the only team offering him, so maybe we'll land him. Keenan Allen is an option for wide receiver, but we've got our receivers for now. We do need some tight end help. Tommy Tremble, we're going to try to get him back one way or another. I'm honestly going to shorten this deal because let's see what he's even getting offered. I mean, I'm not going to bid against myself right now, so let's be real. Come on. Tyler Conklin is a superstar dev somehow, but at 30 years old, I'm still not interested. Tyron Smith, we don't need you. Joel Bitonio, don't really need you. Mitch Morse, we're good. Wyatt Teller is interesting. He's only 30. A really good lineman. We could get off of Austin Corbett. I think he's a free agent after this year anyways. We'll look into that. Sam Hubbard, I mean, not anything special, to be honest with you. Eric Armstead could be... We'd have Poona Ford back. We don't need him. And we've got our rookie. We don't need ends. We've got our D-line filled up. We need edge rushers, though. That is one thing we do need very bad. Dre Greenlaw, Jamin Davis, both not edge rushers. We might get Jamin Davis, potentially, because 2 years younger, 6 overall is worse, but he's also half the cost. We need an edge rusher. And there are none here. Are there any ends that can project up to more of an edge linebacker? Sam Hubbard, but I'm not interested in that. Oh, man, this is rough. We're going to have to hit that in the draft, that's for sure. Khalil Mack, I mean, we could get him for a year, but it's not really that worth it to me at 17 mil. That's just not a good business decision. No doubt about it. Charvarius Ward, what are we looking at? Dante Jackson, we could get off of him. But we're only going to get him for a year or two if we do. I just don't see the value there in that contract either. If anything, I'd bring in a Michael Carter at his age or maybe one of these guys just at their age. Yeah, he's better, but, safety. We do need a safety. Kevin Byard, 32, star dev. Interesting. Trayvon Moehrig, I'm actually more interested in due to his age. I think that's just better. Xavier Woods would be here. Cam Bynum, potential interest there. Matthew and Byard are both interested in us, but honestly, I feel like I have to go for Moehrig. He's just younger, and I don't know. Maybe we go for Byard. Let's go for Byard. Give him a 2-year deal. I'm going to shorten it a little bit because it's just not the kind of money I want to spend on a guy his age, to be honest. But I'm going to move it down even more, honestly. We're going to go to 7 mil. Because, we got to think, we're having him for 2 years, and he's already 32 years old. It's just not going to be good for us long term. Shaq Thompson, this position we should be good. We should be. Luvu and Silver. Silver's not the best overall, but he's young and he's got a dev trait, so we'll be fine there. The only thing I'd consider is Jamin Davis. But at the same time, we have Silver. We brought him in. Let's let him work. The only way I'd bring him in is if it was at a very discounted deal. And there's no way he accepts this. I'm going to go very far down on both of these numbers and just see where the offers lie. He don't even get close to wanting this. Yeah, nobody wants to spend the money on him. So we might land him somehow, some way. I'll leave it on there. Do we want to go Wyatt Teller? He's 30 years old, but that's really not that bad for a lineman. I think we're going to try for it. We'll take him to 33, and we'll give him that right there. That's a really good move, and we can get off of Corbett. I'm going to leave that alone, though. I know it's probably not going to win us anything, but honestly, if we don't get him, I'm not super pressed on it. We are leading in everyone except for Khalil Mack, but let's see what happens. Only one move. I didn't see it, but it was Wyatt Teller. We did not get him. Khalil Mack's got offers, and they're going to keep him, so have at it, buddy. I am not worried about it. I'm going to be honest with you. Kevin Byard, Jalen Warren still in our favor. Tommy Tremble as well. Can we get some of them to sign, please? We get Jalen Warren. So we've got our back at least. Kevin Byard, we're still leading. Tommy Tremble, we're still leading. We're going to have to go to the next time, though. So we officially bring back Tommy Tremble. And Kevin Byard is still, we're in the front, but Pittsburgh is catching up a little bit. I'm going to just stick with it because I don't want to give him any more money than we did. We'll just see what happens with him. He stuck around through the first offer. No movement there. We're going to keep going and just see if we get him. And we do. We land him over Pittsburgh. Good for us. We got a playmaker. That's good in my book. So we've still got $50 million cap. I mean, we're not worried about it. Maybe a trade can happen. But we also got rookies to sign. And we're going to end up on the draft with the 2nd overall pick and the, I believe it was like, what was it, 16. We need to get Quincy Byers. He is a good rusher. We have him scouted a little bit. And up front, I'm really thinking about potentially grabbing Dayon Mullins. He looks very good. I mean, this guy is I've never seen a generational tackle, but I think he might be one. The worst thing he has is C lead block. I mean, I am head over heels for this guy. Jatavius Thompson could also be a potential grab. He looks pretty good himself. He's one of the better safeties I've ever seen in a draft class. But honestly, I feel like the tackle, we could move off of, what's his name? Not Aquanu, obviously. The other one. I'm completely blanking on his name right now. Taylor Moton. We can move off of Moton, probably get some good draft assets for him, and get this guy. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the draft. So we start the draft. We're going to check and see where the first pick goes. We're just going to go straight one pick. They take Jatavius Thompson, who we thought. So our option here is pretty much take that tackle. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to look and see what Taylor Moton's offers would look like. We might be able to get an edge rusher off of him as well. He's an 84. He's got a ton of money tied into him, and he's on his last year, so that would not be a bad time to get off of him at all. Tyree Stevenson is not a bad player, but I feel like we could get more elsewhere. I mean, like I said, I'm interested in an edge rusher, and that's pretty much it at this point. Will Anderson. How close can we get to Will Anderson? That's a difference maker right there. That is a true difference maker. I might be willing to give up our pick for that. How close does that get you? All right, I think we're going to trade Taylor Moton. Instead of drafting a guy, we're going to go ahead and trade these two to get Will Anderson, an obvious, already staple in the NFL. Yeah, that's a big move, and we're still have the number 2 overall pick. Will Anderson's going to come in and be our primary edge rusher. Dayon Mullins, we're going to have to draft him now in replacement of Taylor Moton. Hidden devs, 87 strength. Yeah, he's really good. This guy is, I'm interested to see what his overall turns out to be because he looks insane. We don't have a 2nd round pick, so we're going to go all the way to the 3rd. I do have some guys I scouted down the board like last year, just, pick and pull. Some guys I saw some good grades on, even if they weren't the best scouting. Some guys I'm going to have to really just take a guess on, to be honest with you. But there are a lot of them are still here. We've got 2 guards, same as last year. I mean, there's usually a guard down the board somewhere. This is more of a middle linebacker who we really could take because, we don't have that many. But at the same time, I feel like a guard would not be a bad idea considering we're going to end up losing Austin Corbett. I don't think it's a smart idea to bring him back. Which one's better? I don't know. F lead blocks I see. I just looked at the first tabs. I really didn't look into them. He does have F lead block too, but he's got a lot better of everything else. I'm interested to see what this guy... Oh, I messed that up. Injuries better here. F run block finesse. This one's a lot better. We're taking Antoine Noble here. He's a hidden dev, right guard. Maybe Austin Corbett's replacement already. Not take too long on there. Gonna move on to the next round. This draft, I mean, Will Anderson's a big ad. I'm really excited about that one. We're able to do something, and they're gonna end up getting that guy probably that we should have drafted that we didn't. Greg Hopkins, all right, he lands in our lap. We know what he is. He's a day 3 guy. He's got B-man coverage. I'm fine with it. 91 speed, 92 acceleration, 92 agility. He's an athlete. That's a good athlete right there. We're gonna move on though quickly through this draft. It's not one that has. I mean, we got our tackle, we got our edge rusher of the future, so we're good. Ironically, you switch C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young up, and that's what happened just now, pretty much. That receiver looks potentially okay, but that physical, I mean, they usually are just never that good. The running backs were literally so bad in this class. I mean, like, he's probably just as good as the best guy there was. Tight end, I don't know if there was anything here. I'm going too far down the board. Let's be real. We might need to take something. I mean, he's a blocking tight end. I don't know if that's going to help much. B awareness, B run block. He's got really good passing grades. Or, I mean, blocking grades, excuse me. But, I don't know. Just not what I'm interested in. Yeah, these guys are all they're just what they are. We're going to look at some outside backers, see if we can find a middle linebacker that might be able to play over. Kevon Bowe could maybe potentially do that. Justin Truman actually looks really good. 2 Bs for sure. Good speed. F and F moves, F hit power, B. Yeah, he looks pretty dang good. A catching, B awareness. We're taking Justin Truman here. He's going to be a depth piece for us. We do need some middle linebacker depth for sure. Now we're going to move on to the next round. Really just fill this out. I just clicked the end of draft. That's great. I don't think I've ever seen a tackle this good. 80 overall straight out the draft. That's great. Our guard is in a 73. Our corner's a 73. We took Truman. He's not going to end up being very good. Well, he's moving to middle linebacker, so let's check him out. Edit player over to middle. Last time he went down 2 overalls, our other guy. This guy was, what, a 66, 64? I'm just not going to know, and maybe that'll make me feel better about it. 63. Not great. We took a quarterback for some reason, and Charlie Hackney's not a terrible pick in the 7th round. So, I'm actually not too upset about this. We end up losing, obviously, on the season. We lost, Brian Burns, but we bring in Will Anderson as a result of it. So, I'm not too upset about it. Let's get into next year. Running up year 3, Bryce Young, Jalen Warren, Jonathan Mingo, and Tomlinson are going to be our 1 and 2. Even though Jerry Jeudy is a higher overall, I just want Tomlinson to continue to develop. We're going to start Noble over Austin Corbett just because he's a dev trait, younger rookie. We're going to move off Corbett anyways. Get him the development now. That's our line. Trimble's our number 1 tight end. Still not great there, but we have nothing much to work with there. Let's be real. J.C. Horn, Duggan's moving up to our 2nd corner spot. Vic's going to play defensive tackle 2. Moore and Brown are our ends. Not bad there. Will Anderson, Jeremy Chin. It's a really solid unit. We're better, I think. I think we're definitely better at this point. It's just how good can we get. We're going to move Vic up a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good to me. I want to make sure that we've got everything right here, though. I want to make sure that all these guys are in their right spot. We want Silver to be playing there. We want the slot receiver. We're going to move... Not here. We'll move Jerry Jeudy to the slot. Yeah, that looks good, and we'll get the season going. We have to make a big move to make, a Super Bowl run possible, and the Titans have been really bad. So in this scenario, Jeffrey Simmons asks out, and we go get him. So it takes us 2 firsts, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 5th. We're sending the field for this, but it's probably going to be worth it in the long run. He's just going to be a guy that we're going to need. There is a... he's a playmaker. He's a difference maker. We have him, Derek Brown. We're making a heck of a defense here. We're obviously 4 and 3, but our roster does look good. I'm going to go ahead and look at something real quick that I want to check out. Jeffrey Simmons is 305. We're going to move Derek Brown to defensive tackle. That way we can keep our best players on the field. Him and obviously I don't remember his name anymore, the defensive end we got as a rookie who was an undrafted projection. I am blanking so hard right now. But, obviously, at one position, we're going to have Ricky Moore. That's who it is. The other, Jeffrey Simmons, and then Derek Brown playing the defensive tackle position. Just really going to be hard for that front to, be messed up at all. It's going to be really good for us. We're going to get rid of probably Nash Jensen. We've got a lot of offensive linemen right now. And we might look to upgrade a middle linebacker. So, our depth is pretty rough, but... I'm not super posted on anything else now. I'll let y'all know if anything else happens. We have to go through some negotiations now. Week 11, we are in $109 million. We got tons of money. We got tons of players to pay, though. So we're going to get J.C. Horn locked down for sure. Not worried about him one bit. Dante Jackson, we're going to wait on. Brandon Stevens, we're waiting on. Anybody who's a depth piece with this much money, we're waiting on. Doesn't look like there's actually anybody else that's really going to matter. We do have to have options accepted for both of those guys. I might even decline one of their 5th-year options just so I can get money on the books in different years. But we'll see. I'm not really certain of what I'll do there. Dante Jackson, I'm going to wait till the offseason to sign him just in case he goes down in dev trade or anything like that. Harrison Bryant, we'll check on him later. He's just not good enough for me to really worry about him. And other than that, I think we're pretty good here. Either way, let's start simming to the playoffs. After week 12, Bryce has come off a stellar game, and he's in the process of taking the next step, is what the reporter's asking. Yes, but I think he's in the process of that for a while. We've worked hard all season, and his play is speaking to that time he spent improving and striving to be better. So, Bryce Young gets a chance to be an X factor. Is it going to happen in a simulated game? Probably not, but we'll go for it. Let's see. He probably won the weekly award. Is probably why. 274 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, yeah, Will Anderson also had 3 sacks and 6 tackles in one game, so that's pretty good. Good game from us there. However, it was to a pretty weak Saints team, so yeah, we'll keep going. I'll let you know if anything changes. At the end of year 3, we finally make it to the playoffs at an 11-6 record. Let's check out our stats on the season. Obviously, Bryce Young still in that 14th passing yards, but 8th in passing touchdowns, 33 touchdowns, 5th in defensive yards on the right side of the screen. Okay rushing from Jalen Warren. Jerry Jeudy actually led us in receiving. I wonder how he did that because we had Mingo as the 1, Tomlinson as the 2, and him as the 3. But either way, it's that slot cheese probably. He gets 13 touchdowns. Defensively, Will Anderson with 16.5 sacks, something we haven't seen yet. 8.5 from Jeffrey Simmons, 8 from Ricky Moore. A heck of a year from him. 5.5 for Derek Brown. Not bad. We've made it a lot of progress. 33-2 is an insane season. 19th in offensive yards. Looking pretty decent. I mean, the defense is obviously really good. The offense is developing. We're going to sim right through this and hope we win. I really just hope we win. I mean, one game, please. We do. 25-22. We get to the second round. Let's go ahead and jump into this game. Round 2 of the playoffs is going to run through Carolina. We've got the Eagles coming to visit. We're both 88 overall teams. Obviously, Bryce Young and Jalen Hurts playing each other. Let's jump right into this. Let's just see what happens. We're going to get out of all this, and we're going to go by quarter as usual so we can watch it quickly. We're up by 7, and then they match it quickly, but we put up 7 more to make sure they don't stay tied too long. We go down, and we put up points. That's all we're doing here, but we allow them to score as well, and they have tied it before halftime. That's a big deal there. At halftime, it looks like we're going to get the ball to start, and we go up 7 more. Easy enough, but they tie it once again. We're just back and forth in this game, man. We did have a 7 lead, but that doesn't last long. We throw an interception to Nicholas Morrow, and they go down and get 3. We're going to need a big scoring drive here. Can we get 7? We do. We're up by 4. That is huge for us. Let's click through this slowly. Interception by J.C. Horn is massive. On their first play of their drive, we pick it off. He returns it for 32 yards. We're going to be able to put up, 7 more points to go up by 10. That is huge for us. Now about by 11. They have a lot of points they have to come back by in a short amount of time. They're going to waste all their timeouts here. It's over. It's over. We're able to beat the Eagles, and that's huge. I really thought we were not going to do that whenever they kept coming back on us. But Bryce Young, 333 yards, 4 touchdowns, 83% completion. Marco Tomlinson, 5 receptions, 54 yards. Jonathan Mingo, 7 receptions, 124 yards. Heck of a game for us. We're moving on to the conference championship. This is massive for us, and I'm just really excited to see how good we're able to do in this one and who we have to play as well. You know, because we're 3 years in the future, a lot of things can change. There's plenty of things that can, just go up and down based on how this team develops or whatnot. Always do that slot, that little cheese there. We're up to a 93 overall for J.C. Horn. Heck of a player he is. And that's going to keep us moving. Let's go to the next game. Who else will we be playing than the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, it seems like they're always good in the sim, no matter what. We're going to go straight into this and just move right along. I mean, nothing to, get into here. Start of the game, I mean, we are 3 overalls better than them, so hopefully that can turn into something, but they're already up by 7 and moving towards the end zone once again. We're able to turn the ball over, it looks like, though, but they get the ball back one more time and push it all the way to 10-0. 13-0 going into halftime. We are getting clamped right now, man. What is happening? We got to score here, and we do. We get only 3, though. This is not looking good for us. We're going to need to make sure we get a touchdown right now, and we get that much. Can we get some turnovers? Something. A turnover. 2nd and 9. 3rd and 3. 4th and 1. We're going to get the ball. Let's jump through this really quick. 4th and 6. We get it. We convert. A 6-yard reception. That's risky. Oh, no. They have the ball. They scored. This game's over. All right. I'm mistaken. And we're going to go to the end of the game because it looks like this is over. Yep, it is. We get another touchdown to make it look a little bit better. but we lose in the conference championship. However, not, the most worst thing it could have been. I mean, yeah, we haven't made it farther than that so far. So that's progress. And look, we have a lot of returning starters next year. Let's go see what we can do in free agency to beef this team up one more time. Lamar wins another MVP in the yearly awards. We're going to go straight to ours. Do we have anybody here? Bryce Young is 10th in Offensive Player of the Year. Awesome. Will Anderson's 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year. That's pretty good. We don't have anybody here. Oh, Dennis Bowman somehow gets back down there, even though he's like not even played at all. We don't have any defense. Best QB Bryce Young is 2. Running back Jalen Warren's up there at least. I mean, that's improvement for sure. Jerry Jeudy's up here at wide receiver. Offensive line, we've got Ikem Ekwonu, and that's it. Defensive line, no one there. We do have Will Anderson, who gets best linebacker. Defensive back, nothing there. Kicker, who cares? Who cares? Whatever. All right, we're going to go to, free agency. We've got the Cowboys and Ravens in the Super Bowl. Let's just see what happens real quick. Let's see who wins and what, goes on for that, as this takes forever to advance. This is getting slower and slower each year we go. So, Cowboys do win 24-21. Zach Taylor, Coach of the Year. Lamar, MVP. Lamar, Offensive Player of the Year as well. Interesting there. Moving on. We're done with this season. We have eyes on Super Bowl 61. Retirement's going to make sure no one left. Let's see. NFC South. Not us, just the Saints and the Falcons have some. So that's good for us. They lose some of their players. We gain or keep all of ours. We do have, some upgrades to do. Will Anderson got up to a 70, what was it? Or I don't know. I'm saying 70. He got up to a superstar dev. That's big for us. We do need to re-sign some players, so let's jump straight to that and see what we got left. I did bring back Dante Jackson. I just thought he was, even if he lost his star dev, he's still going to be around a 79 at worst, probably. So I just felt like it was worth it to have him on the roster. Otherwise, though, we're going to have to accept Bryce Young's option, no doubt about it. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and accept Will Anderson's as well. We're going to get those out of the way. Sean Wade is a depth piece, maybe. Harrison Bryant, I'm not paying that much for you, bud. Out of here with that. Poona Ford wants to be here. If you'll take a much lower offer than what you're looking at right now, yeah, no, not going to happen. So you can leave. Trey Sermon, not really interested in paying him that either. I'll pay Cade Mays this, to be honest, because you can't ever have enough, lineman depth at least, and he's actually getting to a decent overall at this point. Plus, he's not going to cost me basically anything. So, whatever. Other than that, Alex Cook, Shy Tuttle, not interested. Bradley Bozeman, finally off contract. We're going to need a punter as he's leaving. It's not really something I'd like to bring back, but yeah. He doesn't want very much money at all. We can at least keep a good group together. If he takes that, whatever. He wants to play elsewhere. Have at it, bud. Sean Wade, maybe we'll bring you back for some depth. Nope, he wants to leave as well. So we need to get a punter, and then we'll fill out the roster in free agency. We're making splashes in the first wave of free agents. Jalen Ramsey, we paid him a bajillion dollars, literally, like 22 salary and 17 or 18 in bonus to bring him in. We're going for this year. Jalen Phillips, we're bringing him in to be our right outside linebacker off side of Will Anderson. Bring in a punter and Brian Asamoah for some depth. That's what it looks like so far. We've also got trying to get Isaiah Likely some depth, but we're not paying him much at all. So that's what it is, and we'll move to the draft. So we're looking through the draft, and we find a running back who runs a 4.2 40, and yeah, he's really good. Really, really, really good. The problem is he's very much in the first round. Actually, if you look at a mock draft, it was number 2. Then he's out of the top 5. He's out of the top 5. And he's out of the... Oh, nope, he's in the top 5 again. He's at number 5. I don't know if we have the power to get there. But I feel like that is the last piece of our team we really, really need. So we're going to look at getting there. However, if you remember some of the trades we've made, our draft assets are bare. We have 4th picks. We have a 1st in a few years. So what can we stockpile that we don't necessarily need that can get us to that receiver, that running back? We're going to look down through a lot of different things. Austin Corbett, he's still here. Yeah, he's hanging around. You look like a good, option. Any defensive player, maybe? No. Jalen Phillips is going to move over to right. Uter could be interesting if, I don't know, somebody wants him for any reason. corner-wise, I mean, we've got a heck of a room now, but we're going to leave it that way. That's kind of the reason we got them. So, yeah, it's pretty much that, and let's see what we can do. We got to get into the top 5. I mean, number 1. Any chance? No. We're so far off, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. I mean, I'm going to try for other picks just because, why not? The Chargers have just enough cap room. They're actually really close. They're actually really close, and that was where he was. Yep, that's got it. We're in the top 5. After being in the NFC Championship, we are in the top 5. We're going to go to the next week. I'm not going to break this video up just because I want you to see what this lands as. We don't see the next mock draft. Okay, we're going to free agency recap. Maybe that's where we see the mock draft at. Let's see what we got. Mock draft number 5 is what we're looking for as soon as this loads out. Because once again, this is taking forever at this point. Mock draft number 5. We're at the 5th pick. We're going to get him. He should land to us. Derek Marshall out of Alabama. This, I'm excited. This guy is one of the better running backs I've ever seen in a class. Like, I've never seen a tackle be generational, and I think we technically got one earlier. But I've also never seen, I mean, I've seen running backs get generational. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know about this level. I mean, this looks ridiculous. We're going to also try to get some tight end scouting done, just because why not? We need a depth there anyways, and it could, you know, be another option if we find a good one in the rough. So, yeah, we'll move to the draft. Starting the NFL draft, we're going to get right into this, go pick by pick, and make sure our guy doesn't get taken. That would be such a bummer if he does. We're really hoping he lands at 5. Gordon Sherman. This is going as it should so far. Nothing wrong with this. We got him. We got him. Oh, man, this is going to be good. I think he's going to be really, really good. I literally, honestly forgot about scouting this whole year because I kind of thought we were going to make it. 98 speed, hidden dev, 93 acceleration and agility, 88 change of direction. This guy is insane. He is absolutely insane. Hopefully his injury isn't too bad. He's a CD injury, so I mean, couldn't be that bad, or could be okay. I mean, hopefully he just stays on the field. But we've got to go all the way to the 4th round to get our next pick. And we're just going to take guys who might look like they could do something maybe a little bit okay. We're going to check out those tight ends because we, you know, don't have the best tight end room, that's for sure. But other than that, I don't know what we're really looking at. I should have scouted later. All of my guys are gone. We'll check out some linebackers. You know, the off-ball deal. Mike Ridley looks all right. George Johnson. I want to see a run stopper, so not good block shedding, but I mean, that's what you expect. D power move, C play rec, C zone coverage, A tackle. We'll go with this guy, George Johnson. Not bad. Honestly, I'm just going through this draft at this point. I'm just ready to see how good this running back is. I have a feeling he's about an 80 overall. I mean, those 98 speed gets you pretty far. I'd say he's about an 80. That's, I mean, usually the best player in a class. So I can't, you know, say anything there. That's too rough to take, at least. That's for sure. Malachi Ware, I didn't see him. We're going to go and take him. I know we already took a linebacker, but he looks good. 85 speed, 90 acceleration at the linebacker position. I like that. They'll both be middle linebackers. Then we'll move on to the next pick. We're going to take a tight end somewhere. I probably should have done it by now, but we're here where we are. Let's go take a tight end and see what we got. Okay, so tight end. This guy doesn't look too bad. He's a possession. Yeah, we're going to go with him. He's got good blocking as well. He looks okay. Peter Candidate. That's a weird name, but all right. I'm just going to sim through the rest of the draft because I don't, you know, whatever. All right, here we are. Checking out this running back. What is he? Goodness. Derek Marshall is an 87 overall rookie running back. The rest of our draft class stinks. But we got an 87 overall rookie running back, not quarterback. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, well, I'm glad I traded everything to move up because it's worth it now. Already worth it. We're done. Super Bowl time. This season, I think it's safe to say our goal should be to win the Super Bowl. We've made it far enough. This roster looks great. I'll show you in just a moment. Next, I mean, we have a camp standout. That'll be interesting to see for week 1. We're an 88 offense, 89 defense, 88 overall. I mean, we're one of the best teams in the league. It is our old edge rusher, Ricky Moore. Hopefully he does get a breakout. That'd be nice. 2 combined sacks, tackles for loss. That'd be very nice because, you know, development for him, that'd just be another monstrous piece of that defense. Let's go check out the roster, though. Bryce Young is a superstar dev still. Mingo is an X factor. Tomlinson is still his superstar as well. We're moving him up. Hopefully he's an X factor. Hopefully the running back's an X factor. Let's hope so. After that, we have, a good line still. It's pretty much the same group we've had this whole time. Bookends. I mean, they're great. That's all good news. We have 2 X factors now, Jalen Ramsey and Jeffrey Simmons. We have Duggins as our third corner. He's still star dev. Jalen Phillips is going to be our right outside linebacker. Definitely a much better group. We have made very big strides. This could be the year that a lot of things change. I think it is. I think this is going to be good. So let's get started. Week 11, and we're 8-2, and we now know what our running back is. And I have to tell you that he is a superstar X Factor running back. I don't know why it does this whenever you finally unveil what a player is. It decides to just not give you the X Factor even though it's there. So all you have to do, if you don't know, if you don't see this, I think you either have to wait a year or you go to their player trait, change it to superstar or anything else. It doesn't matter. You just have to change it and then change it back. It's really stupid. It shouldn't do this. And obviously he was an X Factor. So that's awesome. Let's go. First one, free X Factor. Pretty solid. As a rookie running back, he's already a 90 overall. He's going to be a heck of a player for us. Bryce Young at a 94. Jonathan Mingo. This offense is ridiculous. Not to mention a heck of a defense playing as well. I mean, we've got 294 defensive tackles, basically. A 96 corner, 94 corner, a 91 edge rusher, a 93 edge rusher. This team is loaded, absolutely loaded. We're 8-2. We lost our first game to the Chiefs. I believe it was 31-3. It was pretty rough. But yeah, we're going to check on negotiations really quick. I mean, this probably ends up being the last year of this rebuild, but we're going to at least get some of these things done. Jonathan Mingo, we're bringing him back. We've got to at this point, right? He's willing to stay no matter what. Akem Ekwonu, Jalen Ramsey, Jeremy Chin. We've got some guys here for sure. Definitely not going to bring back Jalen Ramsey. He was kind of just a one-year thing. Akem Ekwonu, though, he's got to come back. He's going to be a big piece of this team. He's good. We're good to go with him. The rest of them, Jeremy Chin, I'd love to have back, but if we can't afford him, we can't afford him. It's going to be what it is with him. Either way, let's keep simming, and hopefully we can get to the playoffs well. Once again, we win our division, but we still don't make the #1 seed, which is a little disappointing, to be honest, because I figure we would. But guess who? The Cowboys. No surprise there. We're going to look at our stats here in just a second, but let's hit with the weekly strategy. Got to, get the little extra upgrades while we can. Obviously, Derek Marshall is a heck of a player. 91 X Factor in his rookie season. Coming out just as an amazing player. We're going to check his stats. I'm very interested to see how well he did, especially behind this line, considering how good this offensive line is. Lots of big-name players up there getting upgrades. Just going to get right through that, though. I mean, we went 12-5. I think we have literally won more games each and every year. So offense, we have 6th best offense. Bryce Young's still okay on the passing yards, but less touchdowns than generally. 7th in defense. A great year from Derek Marshall. Almost 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns. Got 13 points scored. A good year from Jonathan Mingo. 6th in points allowed. That's a good overall classification. Let's check out, 26-9. Not too bad. I mean, it's been better. It's been better. Definitely a good year from Derek Marshall, though. 5 yards per carry. Definitely a good year. Then we have 1,200 yards from Mingo. 965 yards from Marco. Jerry Jeudy down year for sure with 400 yards. Going to the next. Let's see what the blocking was. I'm just interested at this point. Only 1 sack allowed from Jude Dahlman. Okay. Let's go to the sack numbers here. Jalen Phillips with 12. Jeffrey Simmons with 10.5. Will Anderson, 9.5. Derek Brown, 7. That's an amazing front four right there. I mean, that's a dirty, dirty group. Let's see. Any touchdowns, any safeties? We did get a safety. Ricky Moore got himself a safety on the season. Got himself a sack. That must have probably been the same play. Unless it was a running safety. But either way, we're going to move to these playoffs. This first game, I'm just going to go ahead and take the bet and try to advance through right here. And let's hope I get a good roll and we win this game. We do. Moving on to the Vikings. We beat the Falcons 31-0. That's a great game for us. Let's go to the Vikings and we'll jump into this one. Minnesota comes to Carolina for this game, obviously, as we are the higher record, the divisional round. We made it this far last year. Let's hope we don't fall out in an earlier spot than we did. That's for sure. We're going to go by quarter per usual. Nothing different here. Minnesota starts with the ball, but we clamp them up quickly. We are so far clamping them. They've had 2 drives and gotten nowhere each time. We put 7, and they get a shot play, it looks like, to score. Then we go down right before halftime and put up 7 more. That's a big one for us. We need to go in this third quarter and start out strong. So let's put 7 more up. We get 3. That's fine, but we get 7 at the end of the third. So we're going to move along here. Looks like we've got this under control for the most part. Is that Gardner Minshew? Is that who their quarterback was? Hold on. We're going to go slowly so I can try to click through this and figure out who their quarterback is. Heck of 2 back-to-back plays. Bryce Young to Marco Tomlinson for a great reception. 3rd and 7, 4th and 1. We're going to take the 3. Now, who's your quarterback? Please tell me. It is Gardner Minshew. What a run. That's interesting. That's very interesting. They're moving up the field. They're going to try to get some points on the board here late, but it looks like it's going to be too little too late. We actually get a sack for Will Anderson. They move back pretty far. Incomplete pass. It's our ball. Yeah, that's game, baby. Let's go. We're going to the conference championship where we should be. I mean, this is where we were the last season, so we're not regressing. Bryce Young, a heck of a game. 88% completion, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, yeah, it looks pretty good. Why did our running back not play? What is going on? Derek Marshall, he's hurt. Oh, no, he's hurt. He went out in this game with an injury. Oh, man, that's going to stink. We had our rookie from like 3 years ago who's like a 70 overall playing. He better not be hurt. He better just been out for the game. Let's check on him and see. Our kicker gets an upgrade. Wonderful. Can't have any missed kicks on this playoff run here, bud. Moving on, though. Oh, it doesn't look good. This does not look good. A dislocated knee. He's out for the playoffs. That's painful, man. Our star rookie running back is out for the playoffs. We've got to check some things out here. Our next best option is literally Stephen Bell. He's a 75 overall. That's not great. Are there any free agents we can sign here? Any just crazy free agents sitting around? Derrick Henry. All right. You've convinced me. We're going to have to cut somebody, but I don't care. Let's get Derrick Henry a ring real quick in our last year. I bet he retires if he wins this one too. Let's do it. Let's do it. Just before we get into this game, I want to show you we are a 91 across the board, and they have an 83 offense, so we should win this game. Let's at least hope so. Let's get into it. Back in Dallas, guess who? I mean, it's going to be the Cowboys again. Like I said, they always do good in the sim. Bryce Young, is it still Dak Prescott? It sure is. He's been there for too long now. Let's dethrone him real quick. Let's throw him out of here. I'm ready to see this. Let's get here, and we're kicking off, so they will get the ball first. We'll get the ball at halftime. Good to know. Going by quarter, we clamped them up early and put up 7 really fast. However, going into the second quarter, it looks like they're going to be able to score relatively well. They are. They get another score somehow, but at halftime, we go up 20. We missed the extra point. Kicker, get on your game, bud. But we go up 20-14. They get another turnover and go up by 1. We go down and go up 28-21. Into the fourth quarter we go. Let's score here, please. We get 3 more, tacking our lead up to 10. That's great. A 28-yard touchdown for Marco Tomlinson. I don't know what happened, but it looks like that's going to do it. A 17-point deficit with 4 minutes left is going to be tough to break. What's happening to them? Incomplete passes. Our ball, that's going to be game then. We win this one. Thank you, Dallas, for the attempt. Let's check out the player stats on this. I want to see something. Bryce Young, heck of a game. 290 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Rushing, Derrick Henry had a good game for coming off the streets last week. Marco Tomlinson, 3 touchdowns, 180 yards. Is he going to get a breakout game in the Super Bowl? Let's hope so. Super Bowl 61 in Miami. Panthers versus Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes versus Bryce Young. Bryce Young was obviously compared to Patrick Mahomes entering in on his draft class in 2023. Let's get this going. They're going to kick it off to us so we can start the game off early, excuse me. Let's go forward with quarter changes. And on the first drive, we score 7. We hold them to nothing. On the second drive, we score 7. Can we hold them? We do. And on the next drive, we score 3. 3 is, it's serviceable. At halftime, we're going to kick it off to them now. 17-0. Make that 20-0. Make that keeping it at 20-0, never mind. And we're going to go by change of possession now. They get the ball, and in their first drive of the fourth quarter, pass knocked away on 4th down. Frankie Louvu makes a play. 3rd and 12, 4th and 10. We're punting back to them. 3rd and 3 for them. 4th and 10. They get a big sack by Jeffrey Simmons. Punt it back to us. Or no, incomplete pass. Mason Rudolph. Oh my gosh, Patrick Mahomes was hurt in the game. That's a huge win for us, to be honest with you. Mason Rudolph, the backup, obviously making strides for Pittsburgh right now, but now he gets his chance to win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and he fails. He goes and loses 22-0 in the Super Bowl to Bryce Young and the Panthers, who have finally won the Super Bowl after years and years of reconstruction. This one is one of my longer rebuilds this season. I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope that you like and subscribe to my channel so that you can not miss a single rebuild, as I will be doing them all the rest of the year. Make sure to comment down below what you think about this, and let me know what rebuild you want to see next. Maybe your favorite team, or a team that, you know, isn't that bad of a situation, but it'd be interesting to see how long it takes to win a Super Bowl with a good team too. Either way, let's get out of here, check on our stats, and yeah, Bryce Young, 177. Mason Rudolph did have to finish off the game. Looks like Mahomes was injured. He was. Yep. He didn't play super well himself, only 111. Bryce Young played well. I mean, 18 for 23, 177 yards and a touchdown. Rushing, Derrick Henry, not so well this game, but Stephen Bell clutched us up a touchdown. Lots of defense, it appears. Did we get a defensive touchdown in this game? No defensive touchdowns. I want to see what happened, though. Something had to have happened. No turnover. A bunch of sacks or something. I mean, we get Jalen Phillips, Jeremy Chin, Jeffrey Simmons, and Will Anderson all have something. All right, just a game we were controlling. I guess that's what it is. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe and tune in for the next one. I'll see y'all then.